From Jackson College, Professor of Biology and Chemistry, Dr. Matthew Badtke. Matthew, welcome back to the show.
Great to be here again.
Tuesday, you will be in person conducting classes on the campus. And the campus looks different. The air station, the giant dome, has been inflated.
Yeah, that looks
I
cool.
saw it last week for the first time. Yeah.
You guys have a lot of toys out there, really. That's awesome.
Yep, we have the new observatory, which I don't know if you've had
Yeah.
a chance to see that, but I think you guys were out there actually. Yeah, a lot of investment going on, a lot of building. It's exciting.
Jackson College was one of the first to react when the pandemic hit, and a lot of organizations followed the college's lead. I'm curious what things are like today. What's the state of the pandemic at JC?
You know, I think we did have really good leadership really early on in sort of deciding to move things virtual, and that worked out about as well as it could have, considering the circumstances. I think at this point, we are still continuing a policy of, if you feel sick for whatever reason, COVID or anything else, please just stay home. And it's not worth it to, put other people at risk. And hopefully that's what people are following.
How does it work in your classes? Like, just give me an idea about half virtual, half in person, and what's that like for you? Continuing to instruct this way for, we're going on 4 years now.
Right. Well, I think we're pretty familiar with how to do virtual classes at this point. I think what's interesting is we still have such a wide variety of formats of courses that we offer. So we still have the full in-person, twice a week for several hours. We also have hybrid sections where students, like for lab classes, will come in and just do their labs in person, but everything else is virtual, fully online. And we're constantly going through the data and trying to figure out what are the best ways to have students be successful, but also meet them with their needs and what they want. Do they want to be here once a week? Do they want to be here twice a week? Never. What's the best way to help them succeed, but also, work with their schedules?
What's the state of the virus right now? What's the strain that's circulating?
Well, I think people have seen a new strain that's popped up over the last couple months. So starting in July, we've seen this new, I think it's called HV1, which is now about 25% of all cases are this HV1 strain. These are all sort of related to Omicron, the original variant that caused several spikes a couple years ago. And again, as we've been talking about on this show for several years, the virus is going to continue to mutate, and there's going to be new strains that pop up. This HV1 strain spreads a little bit better than the other ones. This is how viral changes go. This one's going to spread a little bit easier, but it seems like our vaccines are still protective against it. The symptoms are about the same. It doesn't seem to be any worse than any of the other ones. So it's just sort of the process that we're going to continue to go through. Symptoms seem to be moving in more of a mild direction, just like we've seen with other new viruses over time.
I think there was a lot of debate about this during the early stages of the pandemic, that as the virus morphed and changed and evolved, the assumption was it would gradually just get less and less and less severe and just
Go away.
But it doesn't. Is that what's happening now?
It doesn't seem like it's going to go away. It seems like it's probably going to be another one of these respiratory viruses that we continue to see circulating around. It continues to change year after year, and it's probably going to be here, similar to some of the other ones we see. And hopefully it does just sort of become one of those background ones that there's occasional hospitalizations. Occasionally, if people are certain at-risk groups, they might be, have a little bit more severe disease. But for most people, we can vaccinate against it, or we have some immunity from having it before, and it's another mild respiratory disease. That's the hope.
Someone told me that malaria is coming back. Is there any truth to that?
Well, it's always been here, at least globally. It's not in the U.S., but actually, they've had some success now with some malaria vaccines. That's been something they've been working on for a very long time, and it's been a real struggle because it's a very challenging organism. It's a single-celled protozoan that causes malaria, and it doesn't, it goes through several life cycles, and it's very complicated. But they have some vaccines that seem to help prevent the most severe forms of infection, and so that's actually something that is, in those parts of the world, sub-Saharan Africa, those places where it's a big problem, seems to actually be on the decline. So that's actually a good thing.
With the, I guess, the less acceptance of vaccines as a result of the pandemic, what concerns you?
I saw an article that the vaccine hesitancy has now spread to people not vaccinating their pets, which I thought was surprising. But there apparently are now outbreaks of vaccine preventable dog diseases and things like that because less people are getting their pets vaccinated. Again, just like we've talked about for years, I think it's important to look at the data, look at the science on these things, and at least everything that I can see, again, these are safe and effective things that are well tested and are going to help reduce the severity of infections for many people.
Do you feel that there are diseases that we had eradicated could possibly reemerge?
I mean, that's been seen. We have outbreaks of things like measles. You see kids that are getting whooping cough, which are diseases that nobody is even thinking about or aware of or even knows what they are because we've had vaccines against these for the last 40, 50 years, and they've basically been gone. But now we're seeing pockets of them come back, usually in groups that are under-vaccinated. So that absolutely can occur when you have enough people that then you have somebody come in from outside the population that does have the disease, then it's able to spread because you have some susceptible individuals.
We certainly appreciate you joining us. Thanksgiving next week. Any Thanksgiving plans?
We're going to be home this year, so Grandma's coming to visit.
Very nice.
And we'll have a nice, quiet Thanksgiving dinner.
Awesome. Well, wish you and your family a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thank you for being with us today.
Great seeing you.
Dr. Matthew Badtke from Jackson College. More of the show right after this quick break.